Hello, and welcome to our bug report of the game Frostbitten. This audio is being recorded on March 26, 2022, while the bugs were found during the previous week. I'm going to start by introducing the most severe bugs and slowly working down to the less severe ones. The first bug that I want to talk about is what we call the settings crash. Essentially, what happens is when the player first starts the game, they will most likely check out the options menu and change some settings or look at the controls. The problem with this is that when the player actually enters the game, they will not be able to look or move around at all. The audio for the game, however, will still be playing. Simply put, the player won't be able to issue inputs to the game. The second bug is what we call the Ranger Station crash. This bug occurs randomly when transitioning between levels. This one was pretty hard to replicate, but happened multiple times to my group mates when playing our playthroughs of the game. There seems to be something the game doesn't render properly, or some of the scripting goes wonky. Can't really say. The next bug occurs when the player fast travels from a further level into the game, such as the campsite, all the way back to the Ranger Station. This causes a plethora of weird bugs. Not only does it duplicate/remove a bunch of items from your inventory, but it also removes the shovel, meaning the player cannot progress through the level again, as the main gate to Josh's station will be indefinitely blocked with snow piles. Next up is that there is an audio log in Josh's office that should clearly be able to be picked up. However, when the player interacts with it, nothing happens. Next is that there are multiple of the same audio logs and posters throughout the levels. The main culprit is at Josh's station and the main campsite. I'm not sure if this is just a placeholder, but finding the same poster with the same audio narration twice seems to be a bit odd. Here is the example.
This wolf poster's pretty old. There aren't as many around nowadays.
Next up is the ability to just float completely in midair while behind the main desk in Josh's Ranger Station. Normally it seems pretty hard for the player to actually get behind the desk, but if you do, you will be greeted with the ability to hover in midair. It seems that the collider here is just a little bit too tall and probably should just be set back on the ground or make it so the player cannot jump up on the desk. The next bug is when the player first meets the monster. If you take a direct right from the shed and head back towards where you came from the shed, there will be 3 trees that are just floating in midair. This could easily be resolved by lowering the y-axis on them when they are spawned in. The next bug can occur quite often and is extremely destructive to the immersion to the game. Many of walls in the game can easily be seen through just by standing close enough to them. What makes this worse is that because when you crouch, it moves the camera slightly forward. This makes it very easy to see through almost every wall in the game simply by crouching up against it. Second to last is a bug that occurs when the player has SteamVR ready to go on their computer. For some reason, the game will then just open SteamVR on the player's computer when launching the game. This is even done without a VR headset being plugged in, and is most likely just an issue with Unreal. The last bugs that I want to talk about is the audio clipping bugs. These bugs can happen in multiple places of the game. Essentially what happens is that multiple audio tracks can play at the same time. This can be overwhelming because depending on what the player does, they can cause up to 4 or 5 audio tracks to be playing at the same time, which is obviously quite annoying and immersive ruining. Here is the example.
What the hell happened in here?
Looks like Josh left
What's
the
with all
note
these
data
data
Guess
from
I'll go
the
check the
last 10
campsite
years?
next.
Why is this here?
That is all for our bug report, and we hope you find it useful. Thank you for watching.